I have been asked to put pen to paper as a record of the events of 4 May. It is a rather odd request, yet I must admit that doing so may help me sort through those events and put them in order in my own mind. As it stands, my experiences in the presence of my benefactor remain with me to this day, and, at the moment, I regrettably can make little sense of them. I have also been directed to omit no detail, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, in my accounting. I feel as if I must stress, here at the beginning of this record, that new experiences are not anathema to me, and I openly welcome the pursuit and gainful massing of knowledge. There are many things we do not know of in our mortal lives, and given the short time we are accorded on earth, it is our duty, I feel, to learn all that we can. That said, before my journey I humbly acknowledge my ignorance and naivete of the supernatural world. Yet now I feel as if I have brushed against that world and know something of it. In April of this year I had cause to seek help on a matter not lightly spoken of to strangers, or, for that matter, perhaps even to loved ones. Events unfolded that vexed me to an extent that I sought professional aid, someone whose knowledge base would bring light into a very dark shadow that had befallen me in my home, my very life. Asking about, surreptitiously and somewhat timidly, I'm afraid, I was recommended to approach one Sergeant Janus of Mount Airy. I had not previously heard of the man, nor in actuality his supposed profession. What was I to think of a personage who claimed, or so I was told, to ease the suffering of those afflicted with the supernatural? After a week's deliberation, and after much internal struggle, I made my way to Sergeant Janus and, hopefully, a cessation of my troubles. The trip to Mount Airy was, in itself, uneventful. The little town was unfamiliar to me, but only a bit over 2 hours' journey by motor car, and I made good time. Early May was breezy and warm, and the countryside picturesque and inviting. There was little hint of what awaited me in short order. Mount Airy is something of a misnomer, as the town rests nowhere near a mountain, or any substantial hill for that matter, but when I had reached its boundaries I found it to be a place seemingly untouched by time. Small farms on the outskirts gave way to tiny tumble-down cottages and a smattering of hovels, all of which spoke of a simple people with simple pursuits. Saying this, I spied absolutely no such people as I drove past their homes on my way to the center of the tiny village. Presently, I came to a small, somewhat dilapidated filling station. Pulling into the station, I detected movement in the small building's sole doorway, and soon found an old, wizened man in suspenders and half-moons ambling up to my vehicle. I made sure to affix my face with my best smile, and, having braked, I shut off the motor. "Good day to you," he said, without a smile of his own. "What can I do for you, miss?" Assuming there was to be no pleasantries exchanged with this man, I came to the point and told him that I was a stranger to these parts, and sought the dwelling of Sergeant Janus. His demeanor noticeably cooled by several degrees, if that was possible, and he frowned at me. I can see that you may be in need of his services," he croaked. "I can give you directions, and may the Lord look over you." Though the ride into Mount Airy was not altogether unpleasant, and I am always glad to discover new places on the map, the frustrations of my overall situation bubbled over, and I admit that I shrewishly snapped at the man. He had no right to speak to me, a stranger, in such a forward manner, and told him so in no uncertain terms. I felt my anger ignite and my face flush. "Here, here," he protested. "See here, I mean you no disrespect, miss. It's only from experience I speak, and kindness, that I speed you on your way. That's all." His hand, covered by an oily, disreputable-looking work glove, found my own and gave it a pat.